If you take a look down the left-hand side of the screen, you can see there are three shapes here. They're compound shapes. In other words, they're made up of smaller units. In this case, they are all made up of rectangles and triangles, and we're going to find the area of each of them. So let's take a look at the first one first. Now, as you can see, we have a shape that's made up of two shapes, a rectangle here, and then we have a triangle. Let's try that again. And then we have a triangle which goes here. Okay, so two shapes that make up this one single shape. And the way we do it is we need to find the area of each of the smaller shapes first, and then we add them together. So in this case, we want to find the area of this rectangle. Now, of course, let's think back. We know that the area of a rectangle is basically length times width, and in this case, it's going to be 12 multiplied by 11. And we know that 12 times 11 is 132, so we know that 132 is part of our answer. What's left is we need to figure out the area of this triangle, and the easiest thing to do is to think of our formula again, because then we need to then that will tell us what we are looking for. So area equals base times height divided by 2. So we need a base and a height. Base of the triangle, we can think of it as that. Well, that is the same as this here, so that's going to be a 12, right? So this is 12. What about the height? The height here? Well, we aren't told the height, but we can figure it out, because from here to here is 15, and I know that from here to here is the same as from here to here, and that was 11. So if from here to here is 11, and the whole thing is 15, 15 minus 11 gives me 4. So I now know that the height is 4. So I can fill this in. Base 12, height 4, and divide by 2. And so that'll be 12 times 4 is 48, divided by 2, and 48 divided by 2 is 24. Cool. And now all I need to do is add my area for the triangle and my area for the rectangle. So 132 plus 24. Okay, we're going to add those together, 6, 5, 1. And so the final answer is area equals 156 meters squared. Don't forget to include your units of measurement. So let's take a look at the second shape, this one over here. Again, you can see probably quite quickly that there is a rectangle involved. So there's a rectangle here, and there is a triangle here. The only thing about these kinds of shapes is that you've got really two distinct choices, because this is also a trapezium. You've got a pair of parallel sides here, and these other opposing sides are not parallel, and they're not the same length, and the two parallel sides are not the same length. So this is a trapezium, and we know that the formula for a trapezium is the area equals the height multiplied by side A plus side B and divide by 2. So what we could do is simply do this. So it'll be 4. A plus B is 10.5 plus 7.5, right? Divide that by 2. So that'll be 4 times 18 divided by 2. 4 times 18 is 72 divided by 2. And 72 divided by 2 is 36. So I do know that the area of this whole shape is going to be 36 centimeters squared, and I can figure that out by using the formula for a trapezium. The other way to do it, of course, is to break it up into its two smaller pieces, a rectangle and a triangle. So the rectangle here, 7.5 times 4, so that'll be length times width, remember? So length times width, and that's 7.5 times 4. So what is 7.5 times 4? Let's use our calculator. 7.5 times 4, and that gives us 30. Okay, so the rectangle is 30. So it looks like this triangle better be 6. judging by my calculations so far. So for the triangle, now the triangle, remember, is base times height divided by 2. So what is the base? So we'll treat this as the base here. The whole length here is 10.5. Up to here, from here to here, is 7.5. So 10.5, let's find out what the extra little bit is. So 10.5 minus what I'm given, which is 7.5, and that'll give me 3. Okay, so that means that this is 3, so my base is going to be 3, and my height, well, that height is the same as that, so that length and that length are the same, and it was 4. Okay, so this is going to be pretty easy. So 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2, area equals 6. Oh, that was lucky. So that's also going to be it. So 6 plus 30, so the area is 36 centimeters squared. And hey presto, that's what we got as well when we considered this shape as a trapezium. So yes, yes. And so we get to our last shape, which is like an arrow. Okay, so let's treat this bit here, right, as our rectangle. So let's just make that a bit clearer. So rectangle is here, and it's 10 times 20, right? Remember length times width for triangle, for rectangle. So length times width is going to equal our area, and I've got 10 multiplied by 12, and that gives me 120. Okay, so I already know that this is 120. Cool. I just need to know my triangle. So area equals base times height divided by 2, but it's a little bit complicated, this one. I know from here to here, though, is the same as from here to here. So this is definitely 10, this bit. But I also have extra bits here. So that's 2, and that's 2. So 2 plus 10 plus 2. Okay, so that's going to be 14, right? So I want to treat this as my base of 14, right? And my height, what's the height going to be? Okay, so from the whole thing from this point to this point is 20.2, but I do know that from here to here is 12. So let's use our calculator. Why not? Make it simple. Okay, so 20.2 minus 12, that will give us 8.2. So I know that this bit here is 8.2 because this bit here is 12. So it'll be 8.2 is the height, and I divide that by 2. So let's do that. What is it? 14 times 8.2 equals, divided by 2 equals 57.4. Okay, so that's the triangle. So all I have to do is add 120 and 57.4, should be pretty easy, 4. Okay, there we go, look at that, easy. The only thing is, include the unit of measurement, it's meters squared. Finished.